Is underway in the wilderness of Washington state, an intensifying search for the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters.
But first, a live look outside in Springdale for you here at 6:30. 5 News This Morning starts now.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, good Thursday morning, rise and shine. Thanks so much for being here with us. Jacob filling in today. Tiffany is off. We always love having you here.
It's been great being here. It's been a great morning. Thanks for having me.
It's good, except for driving into work, Danny. A little bit foggy out there.
It's a little bit foggy, but we'll take that over maybe some heavy rain and severe storms, which could be the potential for tomorrow. But let's talk about the right now. We got to get through today first. So you notice that, some dense fog in areas, especially in northwest Arkansas. You see Siloam Springs still at 0-mile visibility, especially near the Bentonville area. Although it says 8-mile visibility, we'll show you that here in a little bit. It's pretty foggy there as well. 2-mile visibility there in Fayetteville, but notice in the River Valley, not as bad. But along any rivers and any low-lying areas, that's where we could be fog prone as well. So as we go through the rest of this morning into the early afternoon hours, it will eventually thin out, not that the sun is up, but there's not a ton of sunshine going to be coming out for at least the next couple of hours. So this might stick around for much of the morning hours, as well as light winds, not able to mix up the atmosphere. So just be mindful that it will be a little bit of a foggy day regardless, a pretty cloudy day as well. Now we are watching again the potential of strong to severe storms for us. Tonight, not as much. I think it'll be pretty isolated, but especially Friday morning, the entire area under a level 2 risk, and Saturday morning, really the entire area once again under a level 2 risk. The main threat with these are going to be damaging wind gusts and heavy rain, again, mainly during the morning hours, but we'll pinpoint the exact timeline for you, as well as expecting maybe a lot of rainfall. We'll talk about that here coming up in just a little bit. For now, we'll take a look at traffic here. This is going to be along I-49 at 8th Street near the Bentonville area. As I mentioned, it's pretty foggy there. Most of it, though, you can see it's elevated. Again, that fog forms from the top of the sky down to the bottom, and eventually it'll thin out from bottom to top. But it's going to be mindful of some fog as you head out the door this morning. We'll have that complete forecast for you coming up in just about 10 minutes. Joe and Jacob.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, this morning, we're taking a closer look at a growing concern in Fayetteville, where tensions are rising over a homeless encampment near the U of A.
The property sits on 19th Street between 2 major outreach centers, but with a deadline looming, some fear this community could be pushed out without a clear place to go. For the past 2 weeks, the University of Arkansas has posted eviction notices at encampments on its 19th Street property. Officials cite rising crime and safety concerns as the reason for the clear out.
Now, the land sits between Seven Hills and New Beginnings, 2 key service providers for people experiencing homelessness. The site provides resources like meals and showers for the unhoused community. But the university says anything left behind after Monday will be removed and disposed of.
And this morning in Fort Smith, police are actively searching for a man accused of carrying out an armed robbery and assault at an apartment complex on Kincaid Avenue. Fort Smith police accused 26-year-old Kenneth Bird of assaulting and robbing a known acquaintance during a violent robbery. They say Bird struck the victim with a handgun, causing serious injuries. Bird may be armed with a revolver. Police warn the public not to approach him and to call 911 or the Fort Smith police with any information. And
this morning, Rogers police investigating a deadly house fire that broke out on Wednesday afternoon. According to a Facebook post from Rogers Fire, crews responded to the blaze on North 5th Street just before 1 o'clock. A corporal with Rogers police says that investigators have now taken over the case and they're looking into possible arson. Now, they also confirmed that the victim, a man who was rushed to the emergency room, has died. At this time, the victim's identity has not been released.
It's day 12 in the search for Arkansas escaped inmate Grant Harden, and there have been no confirmed sightings, but that doesn't mean tips of possible ones aren't rolling in.
Yeah, in hopes of stepping up this manhunt, police are now seeking access to cell tower data near the prison in hopes of learning more about the escape. They're tracking every call and text that passes through nearby cell towers, creating a digital trail that could place Harden near some key locations.
Billy Spahn, a computer science expert at UALR, says this data helps investigators confirm or rule out a suspect's location during a crime.
Critical. I mean, there's a lot of data available from the cell phone networks, from the phones themselves. And so it stores a lot more than just calls, obviously. So you can get texts, GPS routes, any app activity. And so putting all that together kind of makes a complete picture of a person's digital life.
Authorities hope this data will reveal if Harden is receiving outside help during the manhunt. Continue to stay with 5 News as we bring you the latest details. The Arkansas State Crime Lab is set to break ground on a new forensic science center in Little Rock that officials say will enhance forensic capabilities across the state. The 190,000 square foot building is expected to come with advanced laboratories, a modern medical examiner's office, and vehicle inspection areas. They add the construction will ensure timely, accurate, and reliable scientific analysis for law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, and defenders. It's backed by a $200 million construction budget. The center represents a major investment in scientific innovation and public safety. A groundbreaking ceremony is expected to take place Friday at the North Shore Business Park in North Little Rock.
And Arkansas State Police putting out a strong reminder about the move over law, saying breaking it could cost you money, your license, or even your life. Arkansas State Police are urging drivers to obey this law after a trooper was hit by a car this week. Drivers must shift lanes or slow down for any vehicles with flashing lights. Violators could face up to $1,000 in fine, jail time, or lose their license. It comes as police wrap up a multi-state crackdown. Well, taking a live look at the state capitol this morning here at 6:36. This week marks the rollout of one of Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders' top priorities, the Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies Act.
After the law passed earlier this year, DHS officials returned to the Capitol to lay out how they plan to put it into action. DHS presenting two major rule changes. The first would let pregnant women get immediate temporary Medicaid coverage. The second revises how Medicaid will reimburse health care providers for the prenatal delivery and postpartum care they offer.
There are roughly 32 to 35,000 births in the state of Arkansas annually. Medicaid has paid historically 48 to 50% for those births. So with paying for those births, we looked at how can we pay for their prenatal care and then track them.
But those changes come with some questions. Lawmakers press for details on how many women will use these benefits, how federal cuts could impact them, and what effect this will have on C-section rates.
And to tackle that, the law also calls for blood pressure monitoring and continuous glucose monitoring for at-risk mothers.
DHS says that these rules aren't just about coverage, they're also about data. Meanwhile, Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin says that he's refusing to appoint a new member to the state's Ethics Commission. Griffin argues that a law requiring at least one member of a minority race is unconstitutional.
He says the statute amounts to racial discrimination and violates both the state and U.S. constitutions. While Griffin says he is not appointing anyone, he also does not outline what happens next for the vacancy.
Well, this morning, President Trump is enforcing a new travel ban, citing national security concerns after last weekend's deadly attack in Colorado.
The move is already sparking sharp reactions from both lawmakers and the public. Here's what we know. President Trump is blocking entry from more than a dozen countries, calling the recent Boulder attack a wake-up call.
The suspect, an Egyptian national who overstayed his visa, is not from one of the 12 countries now facing full travel bans. Egypt also isn't among the 7 countries with partial restrictions. The move, though, is already drawing some mixed reaction.
Absolutely abhorrent. This nation was built on different nationalities.
Well, the announcement brought praise from Republicans and then outrage from critics who say it unfairly targets immigrants.
A manhunt is underway in Washington state after authorities say a father killed his 3 young daughters during a court-approved visit.
Police say the Army veteran may be using survival skills to hide in rugged terrain. Jared Hill has the story.
In the wilderness of Washington state, an intensifying search for the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters.
These young girls were a victim.
These are the most recent images of 32-year-old Travis Decker. Authorities say he hasn't been seen since getting the 3 girls for a planned visit last Friday. Their mother reported them missing later that day. Then Monday, investigators found 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia zip-tied and asphyxiated near a campground, according to court documents.
I don't know anyone in the community who wasn't crushed.
Decker, an Army veteran, is now wanted on 3 counts of murder and kidnapping. According to our CBS affiliate Cairo 7, Decker had missed all scheduled drills with the National Guard over the past year, And the girl's mother has raised concerns about his mental health.
Travis has really struggled since he left the military, and his mental health can be hard sometimes.
Last year, she told a court, Travis just keeps getting more and more unstable. He has made huge sacrifices to serve our country and loves his girls very much, but he has got to get better for our girls. Making the search more difficult, authorities say Decker has extensive survival training.
We have learned so far through our investigation today that he is well versed in outdoor survival. And talking with his father, it sounds at times that he would go out and would be living off grid for sometimes up to 2.5 months.
But from the land and air, the search continues. Jared Hill, CBS News.